A couple of weeks ago, Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins visited Mississippi State University, and we reported on that visit. While she was here, she awarded 2 six-figure grants to MSU grads now practicing veterinarians. One of them is Kim Klunk, the subject of this week's Encore episode from Season 2 of On the Farm, our Emmy-winning series on stress in agriculture. More about the grant shortly. But in this episode, which we ran recently but decided to run again because of the Secretary's important visit, some background. Kim Klunk's love of animals and loyalty to family propelled her into this kind of work. But in a story that unfortunately isn't unusual for veterinarians, the pressure began to mount.
I grew up on a farm with cows, horses, goats. My family milked the goats growing up. I grew up showing cattle. With my mom being a vet, it's something I've always been around from the time I was really little. I went with her on emergency calls to the clinic late at night. Saw a lot of different things that most kids don't see growing up. My first year of vet school, my little brother passed away in a car accident. A lot of the reason I wanted to do large animal work kind of goes back to my family, and my little brother, he was really involved in large animal stuff. That kind of played a big part of it. I feel like it kind of solidified that I knew I wanted to come back and give back to the community that raised me, and also be there for my parents. Kind of starting out the day, usually get here a little before 8. See what the appointment schedule looks like for the day, kind of the layout of what's going on. Every day is different. You never know what you're going to get into or what's going to come up.
Small animal clinics can see as many as 40 patients a day, and that makes for a long day for them. Large animal vets are actually driving out to farms, checking on the health of a herd, doing immunizations of that herd, or following up on a wide variety of animals on a farm.
How old do you have on her papers? Being kind of a new large animal vet in the area, and being a new vet in general, there is anxiety that comes with it. A lot of it is having to gain experience to know, what to do, what things look like, and how to treat them accordingly. I'll just make this up.
The last health paper.
They're doing a wide variety of services all in one day, and they don't always have access to the fancy equipment that they might have access to in a small animal clinic.
Especially being a large animal vet in a rural area, we can't have all the bells and whistles and all the really cool equipment they have out there, just from a financial standpoint. You have to improvise with, different ways of being able to evaluate what's going on. We have to pay the bills to keep the lights on, to pay support staff, to pay ourselves, and also the cost of the medications that go into it. Our little spots look like they've healed up really nice. There's definitely a ripple effect in that, if we aren't able to stay open and provide, it affects the farmers and the people we're trying to work for too. lot of times cattle operations, there are sicknesses and diseases and stuff that can be preventable, and that's where, a veterinarian's role comes into it, to where they don't lose all of that cost that goes into it, the hard work and time and effort they put into it. And especially in a small rural area where finances are tight.
If something were to influence the health of the herd, now not only are we talking about the health of the animals, but we're talking about the financial health of those families.
You can't spend endless amounts of money treating them and doing what you can for them. So having to kind of work within those means it can be difficult, outweighing their value versus the work and money you put into them.
The less hairs. I guess not only are they your customers, but they're your friends and your family members, and it becomes quite entwined into everyday life for all of you. And that in and of itself can have some pretty big emotional components to it.
It can be stressful at times when you know that you're the only person available or one of the only people available in the area. You want to be available all the time, but we have lives too.
It's not uncommon for them to call up, instead of saying, "Hi, Dr. So-and-so," it's like, "Hi, sis, my dog just threw up everywhere, what do I do?" And it doesn't matter that you're in the middle of a church service.
That can be stressful to be able to mediate the work-life balance, and when it's one person working for the whole area, it's difficult to be able to see all the emergencies and see, get people in and be able to take care of their animals whenever they need help. Come home at night sometimes and I am exhausted from the day, long hours, and if it's difficult things going on. There is a degree of exhaustion that goes on there. On the long days where a lot that went on, a lot that went wrong. You have to deal with processing if you did the right thing. And you're driving home at the end of the day and you're like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? It's hard, and you have to kind of learn how to manage that mentally and kind of put it in a place where, it doesn't affect you every day. And certainly when you're exhausted, how to keep pushing through and providing the best care you possibly can, even during those times of exhaustion where it feels like you just can't go on anymore.
Just from a mental health perspective, rural areas don't have enough mental health resources that understand the needs of veterinarians. When we start talking about large animal veterinarians, they have completely different needs many times than some of our small animal vets. 1 in 6 veterinarians has considered suicide. 1 in 3 have clinically significant anxiety, depression, or depression. And despite knowing the need, less than a third will actually seek help. As large animal vets, they have access to lethal means. And it is on their vehicles and on their trucks, because when they go out to a farm, they need to be prepared to handle whatever comes their way that day. So they do have access, and it's quick and efficient access, and it is deadly.
You go to bed and get back up again the next day and keep trying and try again. You kind of have to reel things back in and go back to the core reasons of why you're doing this and what you're doing it for. And those things are kind of what carry you through. Working with my mom, being back home, it's a really cool thing. So at the end of the day, you kind of dig deeper and find those reasons and evaluate, why you do what you do, and for the love of animals, and keep going on.
Digging deeper indeed. Meanwhile, the stress takes its toll. Very important, if you or someone you know is in emotional crisis, call or text 988 anytime for confidential free crisis support.